Welcome to the Blue Collar Tennis RVA podcast, dedicated to amateur tennis players and RVA who are looking to improve their game, find community, and nerd out on all things tennis. Produced and recorded by Richmond Podcast Studio.
Hey, everybody. This is TJ with Blue Collar Tennis RVA, and we're here with our first episode of this podcast, which is dedicated to helping amateur tennis players in the RVA area improve their game. And part of that effort is also going to entail talking to people who make up that community in the RVA area. So today what we're going to do, we have two interviews set up for this episode. And the first interview is with a gentleman that I've played tennis with, have known for years. He's a member at ACAC, as am I. And I want to introduce to you Anant Singh. Anant, how you doing today, sir?
Very well, Tom.
All right. So what we're going to do basically, Anant, is just check in with you as far as your background and everything, and then talk a little bit more about tennis. But I wanted to, as I just said a minute ago, you may not be, the commercial version of the most interesting man in the world, but you're a very interesting guy. So I wanted to just let you go ahead and tell us the story about, your background, how you got to the situation you're in now, and where everything originated, if that's okay.
Sure. I grew up in India in 5 different states, came to the US in 1971, and I just kind of dabbled at tennis a little bit. Not until early 1990 did I take up tennis seriously, and I've been playing since then a lot, 2 to 3 times a week when I was working, and now I play about 5 or 6 days a week.
Nice. You're retired now, right?
I retired 14 years ago.
So was your original residence in Richmond?
No.
Okay.
I did my internship after med school in India. I did my internship in Princeton, New Jersey, and met my wife there. Been married for 51 years. Then I did my residency at Howard University in Washington, D.C. And then I practiced emergency medicine for 14 years or so in Maryland. Then moved to North Carolina, practiced there for about 11 years. And then we moved to Richmond area, where I practiced from 2001 to 2012 when I retired.
And you were ER doctor?
Correct.
And you know Chuck Shields, right? Do you know Chuck?
I do.
Yes. So Chuck used to play a lot of golf with my brother-in-law. Years ago. My brother-in-law passed away recently, but yeah, Chuck and I go way back. I played golf with him, 20 years ago, I think, for the first time. But
wow.
Yeah, so you guys were cohorts at in the ER. I'm sure there's some stories there that we won't get into right now. So yeah, that's great. That's a great background. So has ACAC been your club all along, as far as your tennis?
Since 2003, yes.
Okay.
Yes, 2003.
And what do you like about ACAC? What keeps you there versus, looking at other options in Richmond?
Oh, I think it's a great tennis club. The people are extremely friendly, and the tennis program is very good. And the courts are almost always in very good shape, the clay courts. And so it has a serious tennis program with a lot of options. And so that's what I enjoy the most. So I've never really looked at any other club since I joined ACAC. But before that, I looked at some others and chose ACAC, and I'm very glad I did.
Yeah, and you not only play, but you captain teams as well, right?
I do.
Yeah, so I heard you have a team going to nationals. Is that right?
We did get invited to nationals, but we just couldn't muster enough people, so we decided to withdraw.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But you've been to nationals before.
Correct.
Yes. You want to get into that, or is that too far removed?
No, No, it was very enjoyable. It was in Surprise, Arizona, with the
Nice.
7 team that I co-captained with Scott McFadden.
Yeah.
And it's a great bunch of people that we often go off for dinner afterwards and so forth. And so we had a very enjoyable time socializing and playing tennis in Surprise, Arizona. And that was January a couple of years ago. And then this year would have been the team I captained at Aero, 65 and over, that I've captained since 2012 or so. And that one was the first time that we were invited to national invitationals. But like I said, it didn't materialize because of lack of people.
And was that league where there were 3 teams or something? You had to play each other 3 times?
That is correct. There's 3 of them, so we played 4 times each.
Oh, wow.
Each of them 4
Wow.
times. Yes.
Wow, nice. So as far as the tennis, to try to get into a little more detail, you obviously, I know you played a lot of singles. I remember seeing you out on the court with J.P. Jones like every day for years, playing singles or practicing basically. But I'm assuming doubles is now your preferred option.
It was actually by default. I love to play singles, but most of the guys that I played singles with worked during business hours, and I always wanted to play during business hours so I can spend evening with my wife. And so gradually the singles dwindled, and the older I got, the less frequent it became. So now that I don't like it, but by default, I have not played singles in the last several months.
Yeah. Well, I've seen you play. You're good enough at doubles that you're, as I said earlier, you and I played that one match over at Kanawha, and I swear the one guy was ready to quit tennis after that match. He was not a happy camper. There's a lot of reasons for that, but we'll not get into that. So what kind of racket do you play with, Anant? What's your preferred racket manufacturer?
I used to play for the longest time with the Wilson Hyperhammer that they still make, to the best of my knowledge. But Marshall Forbes, who restrings my rackets, he recommended the Head Instinct. And so a couple of years ago, I bought that. I like it a lot. It took me about a week or so to get used to it. It flares. It starts at the bottom, not as wide, and then it flares. So it was a little getting used to, but I like it a lot. And I could never hit hard anyway, but it does let me position the ball where I want and control the ball. So it did not give me any more power, nor did I expect. So I don't have much power, but I rely on lobs and drop shots and angle shots to make up for my lack of power.
Yeah. Do you find that racket heavier than the Wilson, or?
I think they're very comparable.
Okay. And what kind of strings are you? Are you a string guy? Are you familiar with all the strings that you've got in that head racket?
No, I defer that to Marshall, and then whatever he comes up with, I go along with that, be it tension or be it the type of string. He usually uses 2 different strings, a synthetic gut, which is across, and up and down he uses some kind of a synthetic material that he has used different kinds.
Some kind of black magic that Marshall's putting in there.
Yeah, black magic and green magic.
That's right. So do you, when you're looking to play tennis, what is and this is kind of a hard question to ask, but what do you gain from it other than, the obvious, the exercise and stuff like that? What is it about tennis that really gets you going and that makes you said you play 4 or 5 times a week now. So, what is it about tennis, obviously, versus pickleball or racquetball or golf or something like that makes you more a tennis player?
So exercise is probably number 1, and then socialization, interaction with other people. So that's why I play about 12 USTA leagues a year, so that I can play with different people of both genders, and anywhere from age 18 to age 80. So it's a blend of factors. but it's a lot of fun. We laugh a lot, and I think it's good for your psyche, and it keeps you young and keeps you from getting demented.
Yeah, we shouldn't bring Scott McFadden up in this conversation. He's already demented. And is he the 80-year-old that you were referring to?
Yeah, I think his birthday is Sunday, a day after tomorrow. Either he's going to be 81 or 82 this Sunday.
He's an
But
amazing.
he's young. He's going to go. Yeah,
he's an amazing guy.
he's going to go.
Never forget he and I had a match out at Woodlake, and it was 100 degrees out, and it was 11 o'clock in the morning. And Scott, you know him, between games, he's like sitting down and taking all the time he can. And we're sitting there, and he goes, "Hey, Tom, there's an umbrella over there. Can you bring it over here?" So I went over and I dragged an umbrella over and sat it over top of him. And he was in heaven after that. He played great as a result of that. But
there you go.
Yeah, he is a very much a character. So, related not only to tennis, but life in general, I guess, do you have a fitness regimen outside of tennis? Is there, not only fitness, but like nutrition and, just your general health? Are there other things that you do besides play tennis?
I actually don't. I should. Unfortunately, I hardly ever go into the gym building of ACAC because given the choice, I'd rather play tennis than watch sports or do yoga or do spinning or what have you. So I'm very happy doing tennis 5 to 6 days a week, and as long as I can, I'll continue to.
Nice. So you say you don't watch tennis. Do you have a favorite tennis player on the men and women's side? Do you still have a favorite?
I really don't. I don't watch them much either. So no, I'd rather play than watch.
Yeah, nice. Well, you're an active guy. That's a good thing. Is there any advice that you could give, to a amateur tennis player that's thinking about getting into the game and that wants like the best path, not necessarily just for success, but the best path to be able to enjoy the game to the best of their ability? Is there any like fundamental advice that you would give to somebody in that situation?
To keep an open mind, have good sportsman spirit, and don't necessarily rely on power, use strategy.
Yeah.
And also play frequently. For people who play once a week or less, they get hurt frequently. And so my rule of thumb is to play at least 2 or 3 times a week. And don't be a weekend warrior whereby you sit behind the desk Monday through Friday, and then you want to fit every sport over the weekend, including tennis or not including tennis. So I think scatter it, plays a couple times a week at least. And try to minimize the injuries and so forth.
Yeah, with that in mind, do you have a recovery plan? Do you do ice baths or anything comparable to that as far as recovery from every day?
Yeah, so ice pack on my knee since I seem to have a minor tear in my medial meniscus of the left knee. So I've been icing it and elevating it, and but I think one should warm up more than most of us do and stretch like some people do. So I think those are good advices.
Yeah, I appreciate that. The next time I play against you, I'm going to make you go left.
There you
work that left knee like crazy.
Yeah.
So anything else that you would focus on as far as the game of tennis and how it's helped you personally, within your life and your experience in Richmond over the past, as you said, what is it, 30 some years, obviously, at least.
Yeah. No, so competition, camaraderie, team building, exercise, and how physical and mental health are very much interconnected. Yeah, so if you don't do one, you are screwed. And so I think it's a combination of a lot of physical activity keeps you young and keeps you mentally healthy. And as you have read, I'm sure as I have, tennis is probably the best game of
Yes.
any
Yep.
for mental health. Mental health.
Yep. Yeah, I have read that. Absolutely. Here's a crazy question. What do you eat before you play? And then I'm going to ask you what you eat after you play, but do you have a special diet
Right.
relative to preparing yourself for matches?
No, I have acid reflux, so I try not to eat before I play. So if that's one of the reasons why I hate 7:30 or 8 p.m. matches, because then it's messes with dinner time and messes up the cocktail hour and so forth. So yes, I'd love to cook with my wife. We love to have a glass of wine together. We love ethnic foods. So we try not to eat greasy fried foods, and we stress on a lot of ethnic food. Like tonight, we're going to make Asian food.
Nice.
And then assortment of foods. I think more, I'm not on a Mediterranean diet per se, but I try to keep an eye on that kind of thing, whereby they eat a lot of fish, as I love to fish. I love to eat them. And so eat a lot of fish, beans, legumes, fruits and vegetables, and cut down on the meat, especially red meats.
Yeah. So
and ethnic foods has that. So a lot of ethnic foods have that advantage, whereby the focus is on more veggies than it's on meat. So even if you're eating a meat dish, it's predominantly veggies. And, a lot of cultures eat a lot of soup, and that way you are drinking a lot of water and either no meat or not much meat.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I don't know if you remember this guy, but Wade Boggs back in the day played professional baseball for the Red Sox. He was a great hitter, but he would eat, what was it? Roasted chicken, I guess, before every game. And that was his, his little, commonality, for his nutrition. But I found that to be good. I try to eat chicken like a salad or something before I play. And then afterward, there's no telling. You come home and as you said, if it's late. So I'm in a contract right now that starts at 9 o'clock. I played Wednesday night at 9. Ooh. And I got home and it was all I could do not to just gorge myself before, which is not a good thing, before going to bed. Yeah. So yeah, that's a discipline problem. I need to work on that. But yeah, I agree with you. It makes sense to stay as light as you can beforehand. And then, afterward you can maybe cheat a little, but yeah, I think it's wise to limit the food intake prior to tennis. That's the other thing with the 9 o'clock contract. We end up drinking beer, which is probably also not wise, but it's fun, but it's not wise. So again, Anant, I appreciate you being on. We got maybe a minute left. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Or we can just say goodbye until I see you again, which will probably be tomorrow on the tennis court somewhere.
It was a privilege for you to invite me. I really appreciate it. And good luck with your continued podcast, and just keep me in the loop.
Yes, sir. I also have some swag stuff here. Actually, it's at home, but I'll get it to you the next time I see you at ACAC.
Perfect.
All right, Anant. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom. You take good care.
All right. You too, sir.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody. We just had a great conversation with Anant Singh here on Blue Collar Tennis RVA, and we're back in studio here with Kieran Morley. Kieran is, I'll call him the stringer, expert stringer at ACAC, which is the club I belong to over on the south side of Richmond. So we wanted to have Kieran come in and talk to us about stringing rackets in particular, and also some other things related to, tennis generally, but obviously the expertise is in the stringing arena, so we'll focus on that. As far as your background, Kieran, I just wanted to set you up and say, just ask what is the story as far as how you got into stringing. Are you from Richmond originally and all that kind of stuff? Let us know what that looks like.
So I'm definitely from Richmond. I grew up in the South Side, near Stony Point area, and I go to VCU. and I needed a job a few years ago, and I got a job at ACAC, and I had played tennis a little bit on and off with my friends. I always had, but then they needed help stringing a couple of years ago, so I said I would love to string rackets. That would be fun. And it is fun. It's fun, relaxing, and it saves me money when I want to, restring mine because I don't have to pay labor for myself. And I have a machine at home too. I string there now as well. It's just a fun thing for me to do, honestly.
Is that a similar to the machine at ACAC?
Oh, not at all. It's a crank. Okay. So you're pulling it manually. It's not the electric motor. It's not as accurate, but it gets the job done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the one at ACAC high level?
It's like it's a low end professional machine.
Okay.
So it's about $3,500 new, but you can go all the way up to like $20,000. But I always say it's kind of like wine. It's the land of diminishing returns. You get one machine that might have a couple extra features, but it costs $5,000 more than something that does the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, like my machine at home, I paid $100 for it, and it's not as good as the one at work, but there's no significant difference between the one at work and a $19,000 Yonex machine.
Yeah, and as I've heard and read about, obviously, as you're stringing a racket, as soon as you take it off the machine, the tension starts dropping, and so that's going to happen regardless of what machine you're using. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the bonus of having the electric one is you don't have to have a calibration tool or anything. Like it automatically does it. The one at my house, I have this little thing you put in, and it measures like exactly 50 pounds. And then I have to go in and adjust a bunch of screws. It's a little bit of work.
Yeah, yeah. So how many rackets do you do at ACAC, would you say? Like on let's say a monthly basis?
On a monthly basis, probably between 40 and 60. I know I've done, since September of last year, I've done about 800. I keep a spreadsheet because there's no easy way for me to tell without doing that.
Yeah.
And then if someone has one that's a return, I can go in easily and verify that I was not the one that made a mistake.
That's helpful.
Yeah, but I do quite a few.
So just for the audience's knowledge, there's roughly 800 tennis members, I think, at ACAC.
855.
855, and that's men and women.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a huge market.
Yes.
Do you think most of those tennis players understand that they should have their rackets restrung on a regular basis?
Some of them do. Some of them really don't. I mean, a lot of like just rec players that play like once or twice a week, they don't get it restrung that often. But most people at ACAC, they get them strung about as often as they should. Some people, not so much. And then some people, you know who I'm talking about, get it restrung way more than they need to and tend to waste my time. So
that's a Harry Potter reference. He who shall not be named.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. So yeah, that's interesting. So I heard something on Nothing Major podcast, which is a bunch of ex-pro or retired pros. Mm-hmm. They said they were talking about Coco Gauff at the U.S. Open in 2023. Mm-hmm. Went through 82 rackets. Mm-hmm. in that 2-week tournament, so playing every other day basically.
Yeah.
But that's more than 3 or 4 a match, right?
Yeah, I mean at that level though, like they're already, most of the time those pros, they're stringing it to a pretty low tension, and it's just gonna lose tension like immediately if they're playing like that. And they'll actually notice, unlike some people that think they do.
Yeah.
So that's pretty common though. And I mean, those frames, they get softer too if they're hitting it like really hard like that, and they can also afford it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you say is if you had to place an average on the pressure or the tension that most people use at ACAC, would you say 40 to 50, something like that?
Say 52 or 53. because there's some players that are using stuff with like a large head size that'll get it at like 60. And you need to increase the tension to accommodate for that. But there's other people that are, you know, they want a lot of power and they have a lot of control already, and they'll get it down to like 45 or so. But I'd say 53 because on most head rackets, the recommended tension, it's like 52 or 53 is mid. So they just go with middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the lower you go, the more trampoline effect you get, right? From
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Strings, the ball touches the strings and it tends to
Yep.
trampoline.
Yeah.
And that leads to hitting it into the fence if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. So, yeah, I mean, I've heard stories about pros with, you know, stringing at 20.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Which is unbelievable compared to where I am and the game that I play. It's just ridiculous
Yeah.
to think that they can go that low.
Yeah, I mean, if you go that low, you have to hit it like perfectly, or
Yeah,
else it's going to
yeah.
go crazy, fly everywhere.
Yeah, just like a trampoline,
Mhm.
basically. At this point, what would you say? I know ACAC is limited as far, not limited, but they have a kind of restricted selection of the frames.
Mhm.
What would you say for? Would you be willing to say there's a better frame for amateur players right now versus like?
Yeah, I mean,
other
I think
options?
that probably what I always do when people are coming in and they're just starting out and they need a demo, or they come in with some aluminum racket that,
You know, like a 2.5 comes in to start
Yeah.
taking lessons or taking clinics. or
yeah,
whatever.
I always will recommend, assuming they're like in normal, healthy shape and everything, the Wilson Clash. That's
Okay.
always what I do, because that racket's really targeted at amateur players that are just looking to get into it, and then from there,
And so that you say that because why do you say that? Why is that racket targeted toward amateur?
it's just
Or
supposed to be an all around, easy to use, easy to handle racket.
Okay.
Yeah, and it doesn't really do anything really well, but it doesn't do anything really poorly either.
And then it's a matter of what strings you put in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like at our demos, we have the Clash. The normal Clash has some poly that Wilson gave us in it. We don't actually have it there. But then we have the light one is with the NXT.
Oh yeah.
And then
Sure. Can't
yeah, I mean they all have different strings in them to accommodate for different use cases and different players.
Yeah. So this is Wilson NXT, which is for comfort.
Yeah, that one is.
So-
There's some other ones that are for power too of NXT,
Okay.
different types.
And you had another Wilson.
This is Revolve. That's a spin.
I just want everybody
string.
to know that even though my last name is Wilson, I am in no way associated with.
Yeah, you don't.
with Wilson
You don't like
Sporting.
Wilson.
I don't like Wilson rackets, but I didn't say that. So this is Revolve
Spin.
Spin, which is for spin and durability, so a higher level player.
Yeah.
thinking.
I mean, a lot of times people actually get this as a hybrid. Like,
Okay.
they'll put the Revolve, this stuff, into the mains, and then they'll put the NXT in the crosses.
Oh, okay.
And that's a good way to get into a poly. Like if you, it's hard to jump straight from having a synthetic or a multi-filament type of string straight into a poly, because it's going to hurt your arm, like most likely. So
Yeah.
what I always tell people to do is just get a hybrid, get adjusted to it. And then maybe from there you can try to go full poly.
Yeah, so as far as the history is concerned, so tennis rackets started out with natural gut,
Yes.
which is cat gut.
Cow
Cow
intestine.
Cow intestine.
Yes.
Literally cow intestine.
It was
I don't know how
it was
they-
invented by the dude who started Babolat, I believe.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I saw a documentary about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 1800.
Like 1870 something.
Yeah. So as Kieran was just saying, a lot of the strings have evolved.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have round strings, you have squares strings,
yeah.
you have all kinds of strings based on and based on whether you put them in the cross or the up and down, you're looking at different spins and different capability with every mix, especially if you're doing hybrid.
Yeah.
So, what would you recommend for let's say a standard 4-0 player that's been playing for years? They want to be in a racket. Maybe not Wilson.
Yeah.
Something else. Would you say head and then?
I mean, I
certain
think
strings. in
I think your racket's a pretty good example. The
Onyx?
E-Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the E-Zone with the Poly Tour Pro. That's been the most popular string this year because it's kind of a rougher poly. but it's not so rough that it's like crazy.
Okay.
It helps grip the ball a little bit when
grips
it's
the
rougher.
ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would really recommend the Polytour Pro in the E-Zone, the new E-Zone.
Nice. Which you
Actually.
said is coming out in...
No, you have the new E-Zone.
I have the new E's.
Yeah, you were talking about earlier the new Pure Era. That
Yeah,
should be
Battle.
out this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, that's right. I don't even look at my racket anymore.
The Pure Drive and the Pure Era, those are pretty good rackets to get to that aren't Wilson. But if you did want Wilson, I think the Blade is a pretty good choice.
Yeah, my wife uses the Blade, and I'm sorry, Wilson. My wife actually likes the Wilson Blade racket, so I shouldn't be so disparaging. Just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's great information. Let's see here. So, we already talked about how many rackets you string. Are you doing like you've done thousands over the last few months? How do you schedule yourself to be able to keep up with that demand at ACAC?
Generally what I'll do is I'll just come in, and if there's a lot of them, and I usually work like Monday, Friday, Sunday in tennis. I work at the gym in the other side on Wednesday.
Yep.
But I usually will just try to do as many as I can.
Okay.
And then if it's like really backed up, I'll come in on my day off, or I'll come in a couple hours early and I'll catch up.
Okay.
So
nice.
I mean, there's some other people that string there too. But I do more of them, I think. So
yeah, so I think I've heard that getting rackets restrung should be like, for somebody like me that plays 2 or 3 times a week, you're looking at maybe twice a year roughly. I don't hit the ball with a lot of spin. I don't break strings.
Yeah,
so.
it kind of depends. I mean, if you're playing just amateur level, that's perfectly okay. But if you're playing at a higher level and really competitively, it's more like once a month, once every 2 weeks, which adds up.
So you mentioned you don't play tennis anymore?
I tried to, but I had been playing on Tuesdays at Bird Park, and I had a VCU class this past semester and this semester that interferes with my time slot.
Oh, okay.
So I might be able to play a little bit this semester because I think my class ends at 5:30. It ended at 7 last semester. It was not very helpful.
What are you majoring in?
English.
English. Wow.
Yeah.
You want to teach?
No, I'm trying to finish up at VCU and then hopefully go to law school down the road.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You and my daughter. That's an expensive proposition.
It is. Yeah.
But that's admirable.
Yeah.
Nice. When is that? What's the horizon for
so
finishing at VCU?
I have this upcoming semester is a full semester, full 15 credits. And then I think in the fall, I'm going to have to take like maybe 6 credits or something like that. It's not very much.
Okay.
I changed my major late, so it screwed me up a lot. I'm in my 5th year right now. So,
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how many years I spent in college. It's not worth talking about. But yeah, well, more power to you. We hope that works out for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So is there anything else that you can say relative to tennis and like somebody just starting out, especially because I think those are the folks that aren't going to be so familiar with the rackets and the strings and everything else. What would you say to them to try to help them progress in the game?
I think the most important thing that you can do if you're a beginner is, if you've really never played, is to demo rackets. Don't go to Target and buy a $30 aluminum frame and then think, oh, my arm hurts, this and that. This is terrible. Just join a club, or you can do like at ACAC, they do a beginner program. You can do something like that, and you can demo, and see where you are from there. Because the racket is pretty important. That's what's making contact with the ball. It's like the tires on the car. You should demo, and you should try to, learn correctly. Like actually take lessons. Don't just try to go out there and injure yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the benefits of being a member at ACAC. You can demo the rackets there.
Yes.
You might be able to find a way around that to be able to get a demo from ACAC if you're not a member. I don't know that that's going to be possible.
Yeah.
But
the other thing you can do is, like, if you're really looking into it, you can get some beginner rackets, and Tennis Warehouse has a pretty good demo program. They'll send you like 3 if you buy 1.
Yep.
So that's another pretty good option.
Yeah, and I think the other good option is USTA has leagues. Even if you're a 2-5, you can jump in on some team somewhere.
Yeah.
And try to especially teams that'll take independent folks that aren't a member of a certain club or whatever.
There's like
you have that ability.
Flex League is pretty good
that's
too.
true.
That's
Yeah.
a big one. If you don't want to be, obsessing over it and playing all the time, constantly having to play a certain number of matches, you can just do Flex.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's been pretty popular recently, and you can play wherever you want.
And that's not just singles. They do doubles and Flex. I think it's just singles.
I think it's just singles.
Yeah, Flex League.
I may
did
be
that
wrong
years
though.
ago, I think, and it was just singles at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's options out there as far as not only getting into a league, but also starting your journey with an expert like Kieran who can help you with the strings and the rackets. And I think it's good to be able to talk to somebody before you jump in and just, as you said, don't buy the $30. Although again, Target will hate us, but you want to look at something other than the $30 racket at Target.
There's a lot to hate about Target. It's better to go to Goodwill and get a racket there than to go to Target
or play it against sports or something like that.
Yes, exactly. That is my home away from home. When I end up with too many rackets, I just go pawn them off there. Yeah, if you don't need your rackets anymore and they're in good shape, sell them to play it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to end up using something like this, which is outdated and ancient.
Yeah,
the fact that they actually used to play with stuff like this.
That'll hurt your arm for sure.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. All right. Well, Kieran, I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, of course.
And again, I just want to let everybody know I appreciate you checking in with us this time around. We're going to do this again next month, and I want you to look us up and check into the next edition of Blue Collar Tennis RVA coming up in February. Thank you.